Hello everyone, welcome to All Around the Screen, and this week we have a very special treat for everyone. We're going to be doing an actual play of the new indie kickstarted game, Blades in the Dark. It is a amalgamation of everything you know and love about indie role-playing games. It's got a little bit of Fate core, it's got a little bit of World of Darkness, it's got a little bit of Dungeon World, Apocalypse World stuff thrown in there. Keep in mind, this is an actual play. So, and none of us are familiar too much with the rules, since this game is still technically in pre-release alpha. They're still working on it, so we're all still getting familiar with the rules and the setting and all that stuff. So, if you are also one of the Kickstarter backers and we interpret a rule in a different way, please don't kill us. You can write your angry emails to Aaron, but don't kill me. Okay?
I will proceed to ignore said emails.
Alright.
Just forward them to Max.
Yeah, we'll forward them to Max, that's fine.
The auto forward. Yeah, I already do that.
So before we begin, I will let the internet know a little bit about the setting of Duskwall. This setting is a very, very grim, dark urban fantasy setting in which there was a cataclysm 100 or so years ago that caused the sun to go black and caused all the seas of the world to become black. Black as ink, which with presumably demon's blood or some sort of other such horrible thing. The city of Duskwall is in perpetual night, constantly cold, constantly miserable. It's very much what everybody thinks Gotham City is. And the players in Blades in the Dark play a team of scoundrels, and those scoundrels can take many, many forms, but this week we're going to be taking the form of thieves. So if everybody would like to, we'll start with Nicole to my right. She'll introduce her character, and we'll go in turn. You guys can all introduce your characters, and we can get started.
Okay. I am Cassie DeSang. I am the baby sister to Aaron's character, who he will go into. But pretty much, my older idiot brother is... I need to keep him in check sometimes. I can be a bit lazy. I do love food because my brother is an amazing chef. And I'm 23 years old, younger than Aaron's character, and I pretty much helped him get a good bit of the money he needed to open his restaurant and help pretty much run it.
Okay, all right. And tell for the people who might actually be playing along with us or part of the Kickstarter, what playbook are you using?
I'm using the Hound.
Okay. Aaron, why don't you go next then? It seems very logical that you go next.
It does seem very logical. So my name is Leo DeSang, age 28. I am a cutter because I'm a chef. Obviously makes sense. So I will go ahead and read the bio verbatim. I'll only do the first paragraph because the other is about other characters. A culinary genius, Leo and his sister Cassie were originally hired by Kenpachi when Leo was building thugs out of his restaurant and for his special ramen dish, special spicy ramen dish. After their last successful job, Leo invested his entire share into his own restaurant, the Silver Cat. This restaurant unfortunately failed when Leo got into a fight with a mob boss that wiped out his entire staff and closed his restaurant for good. Wanting revenge, women, and another chance to restart his career, he's up for one more heist.
Excellent. All right, Max, why don't we go with you to be next?
Okay. Kenpachi Ramasama was born in the inner city in a sweatshop. From the moment that he could walk, he was working right by his mom, which was also right where he was born, because he lives in a really shitty area. Until one day he got the taste for ramen. When he got the taste of ramen, it started a crippling addiction that would last for many, many years to come. From there, he got involved in the illegal trade of ramen laced with narcotics. However, the trading got boring because all Kenpachi wanted to do was eat the ramen, but all he was doing was trading, so he decided to get into the theft business to make money to buy more ramen and to live the general high life.
Alright, I like it.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, there's more?
Oh.
Yeah. After the crew broke up, Kenpachi Ramasama bought his own sweatshop that specialized in ramen making until one day a local mob boss burned down the whole shop as the smell of burning ramen filled the air. Kenpachi Ramasama knew two things. A, he had to rebuild, and B, he needed to fuck up the bastard who burned down his ramen.
All right, I like this. I like this a lot. And what playbook are you using, Max?
Liam Neeson.
So the slide. Thank you.
Yes.
He's Max. Kenpachi Ramasama is the face man of this team. And then Dani, we'll go with you next.
Okay. My character, her name is Susana. Susana Simon. She's the whisperer of the group, so the resident magic user. She grew up around Night Market, which is basically a combination of the black market and a gypsy camp. She was kind of born into the idea of stealing, definitely not making your living by legitimate means. And it's especially hard to get legitimate work when your family does follow an older religion, and most people regard you as being a freak show to begin with.
All right, I like it. So, as per the rules of Dungeon World, I have a couple questions I want to ask you guys prior to actually starting the game, just so I can have a frame of reference as the Dungeon Master. So we've established that you guys broke up about 5 years ago, due to you guys had done a big job, which gave Aaron enough money to open up his shop, and all that stuff. What have you guys been doing in the interim? Like 5 years or so, besides getting your various businesses and life's dreams shattered, what have you guys been up to?
General ramen hibachi.
Okay.
Aside from getting in trouble with the mob and, harassing my little sister here, I have this on and off again relationship with this former lady of the evening.
Okay.
She kind of hates me sometimes, though.
All right, I like it. I like it a lot.
I've been keeping my dear brother's restaurant afloat because he's an idiot and doesn't know how to spend money, and trying to keep him away from that woman. We'll put it at that.
Hey, I know how to spend money just fine. You just relax.
Uh-huh. You're not supposed to be spending it on her.
All right. And Dani, what about
Still
you,
last time.
Susana?
I have been fending off my mother's matchmaking attempts and trying to explore more of the spirit world, get more concrete answers as to what could potentially happen when we die and where we could maybe go instead of just hanging around here.
Okay, great. And that also, I'll explain that to the people who are not familiar with the setting of Duskwall. In Duskwall, the people who died during the Cataclysm didn't go anywhere. Their ghosts are still lingering. Some of the spirits are friendly, some of them not so friendly. Some of them have grown into zombies, demons, vampires, and the like. So in the city of Duskwall, when you die, your body is cremated and your soul is destroyed in a process that is unfamiliar to most people. But your soul is destroyed so that way you cannot linger on in this world. So my second question for you guys, as a collection of scoundrels, did you guys end after your last attempt? Did you guys end on good terms? How do you guys feel about each other?
Well, I can. Okay, so here's how Kenpachi thinks of Leo.
Okay.
He's completely cool with the dude because this dude contributes to his crippling addiction with ramen. So he's cool. Now, Kenpachi doesn't like his little sister that much. He's not going to get into it with her, but he kind of, on, low key, kind of thinks she's a little bit of a bitch sometimes. But
sometimes.
Other times, she also helps Leo not be inept, and therefore she also contributes to my crippling addiction, Kenpachi's crippling addiction. And, I'm completely senile on the clairvoyant person.
Okay, that's fair.
I just lost complete memory of them, probably because of,
all the drugs?
I've been eating pretty narcotic-laced ramen.
Better turn my phone down. Just realized that.
What about you, Cassie? How do you feel about the rest of the group?
Well, for one, my brother's an idiot.
Yep.
Well, you're stuck with me.
Yeah, I know, I'm stuck with you, but... Since I go out and get some of the ingredients for his ramen, sometimes I'll get certain ingredients just to mess with Kenpachi.
Okay.
Just to see how they affect him.
Okay. Narcotic ingredients, or like just strange flavors, or...
Yes.
Okay.
And, as far as Dani's character, I imagine... we're on good terms.
Okay.
I imagine my character having access to the black market. She might have gotten you some of the more ingredients.
I probably went to you like, look, I'm looking for something a little, you know. Can you hook me up? Can you hook us this up?
Okay, then Kenpachi kind of likes Dani's character then, because she's also contributing to my weird ass ramen addiction.
Alright.
Probably like forget about her, and then you're like, oh wait, you're the person who got me that.
I mean, have you seen Kenpachi? He's an old dude.
Oh, your character's older.
How old is Kenpachi Ramasama?
He doesn't even fucking know.
Okay. So his
This
brain
is
is
him.
that fried that he doesn't know. Okay.
This is him, though. That's the guy. So...
That guy right there.
I don't know if Dani can see that picture, but that's...
I will include it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to include this picture somehow, just so the viewers can get a frame of reference as to who Kenpachi Ramasama actually is.
Yeah, that man.
Okay, in the meantime, though, just everybody imagine, like, a swag-ass old Asian dude.
So basically Stan Lee, but Asian.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty
Pretty
much.
much.
And then what about Susana? How do you feel about the rest of the party?
I definitely feel like my character would definitely not be as social. I can see Cassie as having kind of pulled her more into the group, so she's probably closest with her.
Okay.
Probably takes more of a back seat with Leo and Kenpachi. Probably she takes amusement from their antics, but doesn't join in.
Okay. Alright. And then my last question for you guys before we get started is, each of you guys, there was at one point a fifth member of your happy little brigade. He went by the name of Jericho. And he was a whisper, much like yourself, Susana. However, he took crippling, grievous injuries during your last score. He did some... I will leave it up to you guys to determine the magical effect that he tried to conjure in your guys' benefit, but it ended up backfiring on him, and it gave him his 4th level of trauma, which forced him to retire forever from thieving. Now, Jericho, about a week ago, contacted each one of you guys, and I'll let you guys... We'll go around the table and determine the nature of that contact and how that went down. But Jericho is the one who's called you all to the Silver Cat this evening. And he's promised you guys something big. That's all you know at this point. So why don't we start with Nicole? So what do you think? What was your interaction? How did Jericho contact you, and B, what were your feelings toward him at the time?
I probably saw Jericho as the more spooky of the two. Between him and Susana, he was definitely kind of more creepy to me.
Okay.
As far as how he reached out to us, he probably went to both me and my brother at the same time. Or he probably went to Leo first, since he might have known that I wasn't terribly fond of him, because he was kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
With his spooky magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he never could take a hint, could he?
No, he couldn't.
So then, Aaron, Leo, how do you think? How did Jericho contact you, and what did we know? Your sister's a little creeped out by the magical weirdo, but how do you feel about him?
Well, I would say I'm a bit creeped out as well. He came later that same evening when the restaurant got all blasted up by the mob that one night when it all kind of came crashing down. A little suspicious in the timing, if you ask me. It's almost as if he knew that was going to need some more money soon.
Maybe. Okay. What about you, Kenpachi?
I was kind of just sitting in a other ramen shop because you see, ramen hibachi also consists of ramen critiquing.
Okay.
So I go across the land, and when I say land, across the city, because the rest of the land is kind of hell. And just critique their ramen, and then I put it on Whelp, not Yelp, because copyright.
So you upload it to the Ghost Network because there's no internet in this city.
I'm making a goddamn internet in here.
Like there's a ghost. Like you can pass that word along through ghosts and criers, but there ain't no internet in this city.
It's the ghost internet.
So I used this ghost friend of mine, right?
Okay.
He's kind of he was my brother. He was Hamachi Ramasama.
God damn it.
And he just kind of passes the word around. He's a ghost. He has nothing better to fucking do.
Okay. That's.
And to be honest, I completely forgot about the fucker. I almost asked him if he was a pedophile when he came to me.
Okay.
Because he was a creepy motherfucker. But I offered him some of my fine secret ramen. And next thing I knew, we woke up on the roof of a building.
Okay.
And he asked me if I wanted to take a job, and I said maybe. And he said that there was ramen involved. There was going to be ramen at the meeting, so I took it.
Kenpachi, you're going to get fat if you keep eating just ramen.
Right?
No, I'm an old man. I don't get fat. I just die over a few years.
He's gonna die as he lived.
Stuffed full of ramen.
Yep.
And then Susana, how about you? How do you feel about Jericho, and how did he contact you?
I don't think Susana would have been creeped out by him. She might have thought of him almost as being mentor-like.
Okay.
She probably looked up to his power level until she kind of saw how badly it backfired on him.
Okay.
So she, I could see, him, always, kind of wanting her to, push, with her powers and always discover more. So I almost feel like rather than coming to her outright, he would have come to her, almost, in a different form and, kind of made her follow the trail back just to find him, to see what he was and, what he wanted.
Okay.
Kind of following the White Rabbit.
Okay. Fair enough. Alright, so...
Blue pill.
Wrong, you're mixing your streams there, bro. So we'll begin. You guys, the four of you guys each have decided to take Jericho up on his offer, and he basically told you in a week's time to meet him at the ruins of the Silver Cat. And that he would explain more there, that he was going to gather, he needed to gather some more intel before broaching it to the group. So as you guys have waited a week, and you guys approach the ruins of the Silver Cat, you kind of have to find it in... Duskwall is a very, very closely jammed together city in the lower areas, and I imagine the Silver Cat being sort of like a greasy spoon, hole in the wall type place, sort of like on the corner of 8th and Nowhere type of deal.
Man, no one respects my cooking.
Nobody respects Nowhere Street.
Born raised.
Yep, but you guys each approach the ruins of this building. Aaron, since it was your restaurant, I'll let you describe the building to us, and then describe to us what it looks like now after the mob basically wrecked the place.
I guess from the outside it kind of looked like just one of your normal, typical, like just mom and pop shops, but when you actually got inside, the place is much bigger, lots of fancy decorations, obviously adorned with silver cat images, big curtains and all that stuff. Nowadays, one of the walls is completely torn down, ceiling's pretty much dilapidated, there's blood everywhere still from a week ago. Haven't had a chance to clean it all up yet.
Okay.
And of course, tables, chairs, all that stuff skewed all about. It was a bit of a tussle that night.
Okay. Alrighty. So, as I assume at least Leo and Cassie are together? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys would arrive first. I would assume eventually Susana arrives, and about an hour or so later of you guys kind of waiting around, you guys Kenpachi finally drags himself to the Silver Cat.
I have an excuse why I was an hour late.
Welcome to the shitty restaurant. What can I do for you today, Kenpachi?
Okay, first of all, the booth that I always sleep in after eating ramen, I need that available for me.
Yeah, that one got torn apart by some guns.
Motherfuckers, these mob-ass bastards are taking all of my shit. My first cane broke, and now I'm onto my second cane, which I probably don't even need. I'm probably just going to drop it at some point and forget about it as he drops the cane.
Isn't that what happened to your first cane?
What cane? I don't know what cane you're talking about.
So you've been having fun getting lost around all the different ramen shops there, Kenpachi?
Yeah, wait, who the fuck is that person over there? Not your fucking sister, the other person. The other girl.
Mean Susana?
Who the fuck is Susana? Oh, wait, you gave me my shit. Okay. Sorry about that.
Just think mushrooms and it'll all come back.
I love... Oh, yes. The the mushrooms in my ramen. Those are very nice, by the way. If you ever get something like a bit stronger, though, just hit me up, please.
Well, that's the only one that he remembers.
Well, they were the most mild.
That's true. Had to start somewhere.
By the way, I should thank you, Susana, for that knife you got me a few years back. It kind of helped me out the other night.
You're welcome. Like I said, though, just don't mention it.
Yeah, black market knife, you don't want to mention those too often.
Mm-mm.
So, as you guys are standing around, the clouds start rolling in, and it starts a light snowfall, which is not unusual for this time of day in the city, and you can hear a metal scraping against the cobblestones coming down the street toward you. You guys turn toward the sound, and you can see wearing a very, very long, thick robe, hood pulled up. You can tell that it's your friend Jericho because his entire right leg has basically been replaced with a metal whirring stick that sort of scrapes the ground when he walks. And he kind of hobbles slowly over to you, and he says...
So he's kind of like the worst version of Captain Ahab.
Sort of, yeah.
Basically, this is the darkest timeline.
Okay.
But as he approaches, he looks up at you guys. You can still see his face is pretty much Deadpool levels of fucked up. Like scars, pock marks. His eye is kind of offset in like a weird milky white color. You don't even know if he can see out of that one anymore. But he says, as he approaches, he says, "Well, it's a good thing that all of you have decided to come tonight. Shall we?
Well, it's my restaurant. I'm still cleaning up. Of course I'd be here.
Yes, I suppose that you would.
I'm not sure what the ramen idiot over here is all here for.
Okay, one question. Jericho, you've let yourself go, man. You look like a fucking... can I poke that eye? Does that eye even fucking work?
I mean, he looked about this bad the last time you guys saw him. This is the aftermath of that magical accident that he had.
Yeah, but I've had so much mushroom
This is true.
in the last couple of years that I've just completely forgotten about him at this point. I barely remember getting stuck on a fucking rooftop with him.
I kind of look him up and down.
Okay.
Have you tried to see any sort of healer or work on...
I've attempted to see a few. However, I think at this point, this is sort of where the rest of my life is heading. Unless tonight turns in our favor. Leo,
Ominous as usual, I see.
if you would please open the door, we have much to discuss.
I reluctantly open the door.
Okay. So you see him, he walks in and you see him kind of wave his hands, in a very weird, like, concentric circle pattern, and one of the tables rights itself and, like, wipes itself clean of, like, all the guff that was on top of it.
I am immediately spooked and pull out my gun, the voice of reason.
Okay. What is it?
I turn to him and say, how long have you been able to do that, and how come you haven't helped me clean this place up yet?
Well, hold on. What's the voice of reason look like, and what type of gun is it?
It is it was once a shiny silver pistol, and now it's more showing its age.
Okay.
Over the years that I've had it.
All right. He looks at you and Leo. He looks at you through his one good eye, and he says, "Well, you know, I've always been able to do little tricks to make things more convenient. If you would have asked me to help you clean, I would have."
Not sound like you're easy to get a hold of, though.
Touché.
Kenpachi starts to go towards the back kitchen to find a bowl and some ramen.
Those thugs took everything already, Kenpachi.
God damn it!
So, Kenpachi, if you would like, you could go ahead and, if you would like to throw your survey pool, and that way we can see what you might find back there. So how many points do you have in survey?
Let me go look real quick. Absolutely none.
Okay, great. So
Perfect. Is good for absolutely nothing.
well, is there a different skill that you would rather use in the situation to search for anything, or
Can I pull out a gun and just start shooting shit until I find something?
you could try.
I'm gonna try it.
All right, so that would be hunt. So how many dice do you have?
I have one.
Okay, so you're basically gonna roll the 1d6 and tell me the number.
But Kenpachi, you're not on mushrooms right now. How are you supposed to find ramen?
5.
5? Okay. So you pull out. What type of gun do you have, Kenpachi?
I feel like it's a revolver, and like it looks nice, but it's actually just used for like. The only reason that it looks diamond is because it's bedazzled with one of those things that you get when you're 12.
Okay.
You glued some rhinestones to it?
Basically.
Yes.
So you take out your revolver and you just start shooting at like various piles of debris to help clear your way. Unfortunately, however, you see that the only ramen or any sort of food ingredient that's here has basically rotted away at this point. And anything that would have been even partially edible is rotted away. It's not even kind of edible. And in your infinite rage and wisdom, I'm gonna say that you're gonna be starting running low on bullets there.
Completely okay with this.
Yeah.
Kenpachi,
So-
what the hell do you call that monstrosity of a gun?
I think my gun looks like fucking modern art, okay?
As soon as I hear the gunshots, I'm just gonna facepalm.
While they're squabbling over the gun and kind of focusing on that, I want to try and mimic the hand gesture that Jericho did.
Okay. So that are you gonna actually try to do the same effect, or are you just gonna try to like memorize the pattern of his hands?
I'm gonna try and do the effect.
Okay. So I'll say, go ahead. It would be an attune roll and probably like 1 stress.
Okay.
Because it's like a minor it's like a minor do nothing offense or magic thing. So.
Alright, I will take, you take the higher one, right?
Yeah, right. So you roll 2 dice and you take the highest one you rolled.
Okay, I got a 5.
Okay. Now, unless you roll multiple 6s, because if you roll multiple 6s, it counts as a critical success.
I didn't roll a 6.
Okay. So you got a 5. So you go ahead and you're able to mimic his hand gestures. Unfortunately, though, you do get the table, but it flips way farther than you wanted it to, and it goes careening against the wall.
Oops.
Well, there goes another table.
That was the good table.
Looks out from the kitchen, which I'm still just kind of sitting there disappointed I didn't find any ramen. Did I hear something?
You just heard more of my hopes and dreams being shattered, that's all.
Oh, okay, I don't give a shit about that. Goes back to mourning that there's no ramen.
Well, if it's rebuilding you're looking to do, I think I might be able to help you out, Leo.
What do you have in mind?
And he picks up the tattered remnants of what was once like a bar stool and sits down to rest his one good leg, and he says, "How familiar are you with Leviathans?" Dani,
How familiar are you with Leviathans?
Looks outside the kitchen. What the fuck even is that, okay? Is that a type of ramen?
Susana, you're probably, based on your background, I think the only one who would have any idea what the hell a Leviathan is.
Okay, do I roll?
No, you just know it based on your background. You know the Leviathans are these sea creatures that live in the Black Seas. You know that their blood is their blood and anything you can get off of them are highly, highly valued by whispers and other sort of magically inclined folk because they make incredibly powerful magic ingredients.
Okay. Leviathans are it's like finding the golden fleece for whisperers. If you can harvest their parts, they're extremely valuable.
I wonder if they make a good sauce or something.
Do you think I can put them in my ramen?
I mean, you could try to eat it, but it might kill you.
That's a risk I'm willing to fucking take.
So what exactly are you asking of us?
There's rumor going around the city as of late that one of the iron ships managed to come back with an entire young Leviathan body. Whether it be alive or whether it be dead, I don't really have all the information here, but an entire body of one of those, just a vial of its blood can fetch upwards of hundreds of dollars in the night market. If we can get a hold of the entire body, just think of how much money we would have. It would give you enough money to move to a bigger restaurant in a nicer part of the city. Give Kenpachi all the ramen he can eat.
At this point, Kenpachi's interest has been piqued.
Well, Cass, what do you think?
You said it's an entire body.
Yes.
What sort of security are we looking at?
As far as I've been able to uncover, there's going to be an auction for the creature in White Crown. So, obviously, there's going to be the typical sticking points with getting into White Crown undetected. The Blue Coats have that place surrounded, especially now with all the rumblings going on in the lower parts of the cities. And once... Go ahead.
Would it be easier to steal it from whoever bids the highest? Count on them not having as high of a security?
No. That might be a bit too risky because it isn't. Usually the highest bidders are also rich bastards.
That's true.
And as far as I know, the people who are going to be bidding on this thing are whisperers of the highest skill and power in the city, so stealing it from one of them is going to be a tricky situation regardless.
Someone tells me I just can't, run up to them and shoot them with my bedazzled gun.
I wouldn't put it past you.
What if I... Okay, guys, here's my brilliant plan. Okay?
Another one of these?
Another one of these, and this is actually going to be a good one, I swear.
Oh, an actual good plan.
Okay, so you said that they're going to be bidding, right?
Yes.
And how many bidders did you say, would you estimate are going to be there?
I know for a fact there's at least 3.
At least 3.
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, Leo over here probably has... Can you handle yourself in a hostage situation, Leo?
Am I the hostage or am I taking the hostage?
You're basically the muscle. You're going to be yelling at people and just intimidating them.
I mean, yeah, I could do that. I kicked a lot of people out of my restaurant before. It shouldn't be too hard.
Okay, so you and Psychic Girl over here, you two hold down the crowd while me and your sister, we go in and actually start taking blood vials. Because is anything else worthwhile in the body of these creatures?
The entire body is worthwhile. For the most part, is what we're able to get in high quantities, usually blood, just from the weapons and the wounds that these creatures take when they attack the iron ships. However, the very few times that skin or bone or any other part of these creatures' bodies are brought to us, they are very, very valuable. If we could get the entire corpse or creature, then it would be worth a fortune.
How big
Okay,
is
and I'm
this thing?
assuming that these are very heavy creatures as well.
A full-grown one is about as long as 2 or 3 iron ships.
Okay, so definitely me and Leo's sister cannot take it alone.
Well, this
So,
is,
yeah, you guys
as
have
I
a lot
said,
of
this
muscle,
is, as I said, this is an infant. This is a baby. It's no more large than Leo.
Okay, then we can probably handle that. The only problem is transport at this point. So how are we going to get...
And also storage. I mean, this place is kind of shut down. I don't have anywhere to put that thing when we finally got it taken.
Okay, so
And if
any
it's-
ideas on transport or storage?
If it's dead, we need to worry about it rotting.
Yes, so...
That's why storage is the problem.
Yes, so we need to find a nice cold place to keep it.
Hey, Shane.
Yes?
When you go into the spirit world, I'm assuming is it cold there?
You don't go into the spirit world, you sort of, because you're not leaving your body, necessarily, you're just, when you attune to the ghost field, you're just really seeing what, ghosts are there. You're not, leaving anywhere. Because of the cataclysm, there's not an actual spirit world, which is why, their souls can't leave when they die.
Okay.
They're just, intangible, pretty much.
I know what we can do for storage. Now, this is gonna seem like a long shot, but do we know any morticians by any chance?
Well, we can roll to see if we can.
If anybody wants to try a consort roll to see if they know any morticians or anything like that in the city.
I have 2 consorts.
I have 1.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can both try if you like.
Okay.
Okay.
So 1 dot. So you just roll 1 dice.
Yes.
What if
So
you
2,
have
I roll
nothing?
2.
If you have nothing, then you have what's called a fortune roll, which is
Just
2
2
dice.
dice, right?
It's 2 dice, but you basically need a 6, otherwise something bad happens.
I might roll if neither of them get anything.
Well, I got a 6.
Hey! What did you get, by the way, Kenpachi?
Here, let me actually roll real quick.
Okay.
I got a 6.
Okay.
Well, looks like we're good then.
Yep.
So,
We're sorted.
Susana, you know, one of the cultists in that sort of hangs around with your family, they don't believe in cremating bodies, so they have really large, like, basically ice boxes that they keep the bodies in until they can sneak them out into more underdeveloped parts of the city and bury them.
Okay.
Kem-
Alright.
Kenpachi, being a connoisseur of ramens and things of that nature, you know many butchers in the city. So you figure you'd easily be able to find one of your butcher pals to either butcher this thing or store it in a cold storage or something like that.
I'm thinking the mortician area would be better because nobody would think to check for a dead carcass of an animal in an area where you store dead carcasses of humans.
Yeah, but that's the only contact you have, though.
Oh, and Lila, she hangs around my family. She can be discreet.
Let's go with her contact because that seems a lot more reliable then. If we can.
So then we just have to deal with getting the creature to Lila.
Well, where's
Wait.
Lila located at?
She's a night market as well.
But how
I'm
big
just
is
saying,
night market?
I'm just saying, if it's anywhere near like the water, we could just steal the boat the fish is on, just take it to her.
Night Market is pretty much in the center of the city.
Yeah.
White Crown is more toward like, it's off the water, but it's like not. It's off like more of one of the lakes and not like the actual oceans.
How possible would it be to do like a teleportation circle?
As a ritual,
Yeah.
it'd be possible, but that would be a pretty high magnitude ritual, and it's gonna cost you. That's what.
Okay.
It would be up to you. I would say the magnitude of it would be about 3 to 4, or maybe even 4 to 5, depending on how big the creature turns out to be. But then whatever other price you have to pay as part of the ritual is completely up to you.
Okay.
But it's definitely doable.
Since I deal in getting various ingredients for Leo's ramen, would I happen to know any merchants who like go in and out?
Of White Crown?
Yeah.
You might. If you'd like to roll, you can. You can go ahead. What would you like? What would you like to roll?
That'd probably be consort still, wouldn't it?
It could be, or
Could I do studies? Considering I want.
yeah,
watching
like
them?
yeah. If you, that's the thing with this game. Remember, you can pretty much, as long as you can figure out a way that you can adapt a skill to the situation, you can ask, and if the GM can obviously say no, it doesn't apply, but in this case, I would say yeah, go ahead. You could use study or
could I do survey?
yeah, you can. We can say retroactive survey. That'd be fine.
Considering I'm always keeping an eye out for fresh ingredients.
Yep.
Fresh-ish.
The freshest you can get.
Yeah, I guess.
Fresher schist.
A 6?
I got a 6.
Okay. So, you know a couple of... You know Jameson. Jameson is a... He's constantly going in and out of White Crown. He's more of a... He's a wealthier person, a wealthier merchant that you know, but he is a fan of slumming it in the brothels. You've picked him up. You've seen him in some of the brothels that you've seen Leo in, but
I had to drag Leo out of.
Yeah, that you've had to drag Leo out of on occasion, and you didn't realize it was him at first until you saw he has this very, very particular tattoo on the back of his left hand. It's it's a tattoo that a lot of the traveling merchants get that pretty much give them access into White Crown. And so you didn't recognize him at first until you saw the tattoo, but you noticed that this guy, even though he's wealthy, he likes to slum it. He's a fan of that.
Would it lower the difficulty on the teleport between trying to teleport the thing all the way to Night Watch versus trying to, say, teleport the thing into, like, let's say if this guy had a truck nearby?
Yeah, it would definitely be a less of a magnitude, because it wouldn't be going as far. So
Yeah.
it would be far less magnitude at that point.
Okay.
So we just got to convince the guy to give us a truck, and then convince someone else to let us use their icebox, pretty much.
Well, Leo, you know him. I've had to drag you out of the same brothel that he's been in.
Yeah, he does owe me one for all the money we give him for all the spices we get.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think we're the only ones that keep him in business.
I think so.
Well, I think we have a decent plan together at this point.
Okay. Alright.
Lila wants something. Nobody in Night Watch works for free, but I think if I offer her, let's say, one of the vials of blood, she would do it.
How many vials would you say we can get out of this, exactly?
It really depends on how much blood was drained in the capturing of the creature, and how much blood they've already taken for their own personal usage. I can't really say for sure.
Okay, so if we have enough to where we can all cut it, make a decent wage, just in case, maybe we should give her 2 vials just to be safe that she doesn't talk. Just to be safe.
Well, if we're really observed, we can see where they took all the stuff they've already taken out of it. Maybe we can find some extra while we're down there.
Maybe. I'm more just concerned with getting the damn thing to begin with.
Yeah.
So what exactly are you going to be doing, Jericho, while we're out and about?
I'm going to be preparing. If we're going to be looking to sell this thing piecemeal, you're going to need a whisper as powerful as me in order to safely deconstruct the creature. You might be able to get blood out of the creature without my help, but if you're looking to really maximize your money on this creature, you're going to need somebody who can really skin a carcass and knows how to temper the skin and bones in order to make them useful.
Okay, I want to establish one thing though before we do actually go through with this. Try to avoid killing people as much as possible. It's not gonna...
Yeah, Kenpachi.
I mean, Kenpachi, I'm only going to be able to promise that if you can promise that.
Fuck. I only made you guys promise that, so I had all the killing to myself.
Correct.
A couple more ghosts.
Well, a couple of more...
Kenpachi, just don't get me killed, okay?
Nah, fam. Now, another question is, do we have enough money to have, like, some ramen before we go on to this mission? No? Okay.
I hit upside the head.
Dang. All right. So now, the way Blades in the Dark sort of handles this aspect of it, of the mechanics. Basically, at this point, we're going to fast forward in time to the actual point where you guys are at the gates of White Crown, and you guys have presumably made whatever plans you're going to make, and the idea is that you at any point from this point forward, you can trigger what's called a flashback. And basically, a flashback is your way of us playing out a scene that that would in some way help you in the current situation, like you guys making a contingency plan, or the conversation with Jameson the merchant, if in some way if Aaron at some point you think that something that you guys might have talked about at the brothel might help you in a situation, we can do a flashback to that scene. But basically the idea is that it pushes the action forward, and then you guys can trigger flashbacks as you want them, essentially. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Hey guys, this is Shane, the DM from All Around the Screen. I hope you're enjoying our little one-shot preview, whatever it really is that we're doing, of Blades in the Dark. I hope you are learning a little bit about the system. I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope that you'll come back next week when our players actually get their heist on, and we see if they can't get a hold of that creature that is so heavily valued by all of these arcane sorts. But until then, this is, like I said, this is Shane from All Around the Screen, and we'll see you next week.